This is Baxter Lewis, your host for Move for Change Ministries. We are grateful to be on the airwaves yet another time. Today is a special featured broadcast. We do not broadcast on Monday nights, but we have a special featured broadcast tonight. We have in the person here of Sheldon Brathwaite, all the way from Trinidad. He is directly in studio with me this evening, and it's such a blessing having you, Sheldon. We welcome you to this live broadcast. How are you doing?
Thank you. I am awesome.
You're awesome. You're
Yeah.
awesome. And actually, it's the first time we are connected face to face. We always on the
Definitely.
phone.
Oh,
We
yes.
always on the phone, and this is the first time we're connecting face to face, and it's just a blessing meeting each other. So this evening we will be talking about health once more, but we'll be going from a different slant. Today we'll be talking about holistic health. And I define the word holistic. It means interconnected with the reference to the whole. In other words, the whole body, interconnected to the whole body. And it went on to say, holistic health is about caring for the whole person. Sheldon?
Definitely.
The whole person, providing for your physical, mental, spiritual, and social needs. Sheldon, I'm sure you would want to talk about that before we go directly into the program.
Oh, yes. So basically, as Mr. Baxter just said, holistic wellness, right, is about integrating a balance of diet, nutrition, exercise, and spiritual food. And when you combine all those pillars, trust me, all of that is going to have wellness in your body. All right? And those pillars, once we follow those pillars, everything else would work itself. Because our body usually heals itself, but we have to enforce that those pillars don't wither.
Right.
Right? So I encourage everyone that ensure that those pillars gets the necessary food. And once those pillars are getting the necessary foods, the sky's the limit with our bodies.
Right, good. Great. That was a good first start. But Sheldon, you know what? I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Right. Well, I'm a holistic wellness therapist. All right. And the journey begins with yourself, eh? And I had some health issues, I was challenged with. One in particular was hypothyroidism. And I was driven to heal myself. The conventional medicine have its place, but it's so important that if you can heal your body with traditional foods or alternative medicine, the sky's the limit. And when I was with regards to the hypothyroidism, and it affected my body with tremors, getting weak, getting small, heart palpitating. The doctor gave me the necessary radioactive iodine, but the symptoms were still there. And I started to do my own research, and thank God for directing me to specific doctors and herbalists. And I was able to heal myself with traditional foods. And, when you're talking to people, it starts with us, And my testimony is that I started to use traditional foods, and that really made a difference,
Right.
And it starts with your gut, right? A lot of us have a lot of issues, health issues, whether it be pain in your body, neck pain, shoulder pain, you name it. And pain is a signal that something is wrong.
Right. Yes.
It's a signal that something is
Something's
wrong.
wrong.
So it may not necessarily be a bad thing, but we have to be conscious and tell ourselves, you know what? We need to pay particular attention. Our body is sending a signal
Signal.
to our bodies.
So Sheldon, right now my shoulder is kind of hurting me right here. That means something maybe is happening, some muscle or something.
Oh yeah, and as Mr. Baxter, as you said that, everything is interconnected. So we might say we getting a shoulder pain, as you said, but it could relate that there's some congestion in your liver,
Okay.
and all that comprise of your gut health. So once you clean your gut or give your gut the necessary healthy microbes that it so needs, right? Your organs are going to be so happy because a lot of us just deal with the symptoms, but we don't get to the root cause,
problem.
And it's so important to make sure that we have a good, healthy microbiome. And when I say a healthy microbiome, meaning to say that we flood our gut with the necessary healthy bacteria, right? Now, one might ask, what is healthy bacteria? Where can we get healthy bacteria from, right? And there are a few ways we can get it through probiotics. But things are get so commercialized now that when you go in the grocery, or go in the store, they may have one of the main things they sell for probiotic rich food is yogurt, right? But some of them have so much sugar in them, and I tell a lot of people sugar is the devil, eh? And you have to be so conscious about the amount of carbohydrates we consume on a daily basis, right? And the whole thing about getting the necessary probiotics, yogurt is an example, is a good probiotics, but I also tell people you use a preferred yogurt to use is a plain yogurt, right? And then you have fermented foods, which is so critical.
Would you find a plain yogurt in any store?
Yes, but you need to read the label. You need to be very, very diligent and watch the contents of those yogurts that they're selling. It's so vital and critical. We need to be conscious of what we're consuming in our bodies. Not because it say organic means to say, you're going to just buy it. You need to really watch the labeling and ensure what they have in it is what actually is there. It is really critical and nutritious for our bodies. All right. So getting back to gut health, yogurt is one way you can nourish your gut with the necessary probiotics. All right. We have fermented foods. Right, fermented foods like cabbage. All right, we have fermented vegetables. All right, we also have water kefir. All right, and we have milk kefir. So all these are examples of getting the necessary probiotics that the body really needs. And I emphasize gut health because if you don't have adequate amount of good healthy bacteria in your gut, you wouldn't have proper absorption of your food. You'll have indigestion, you'll have acid reflux. And you might say, but wait now, I am taking all these good healthy stuff, but you know what? Your body not absorbing the nutrients from them. But once you flourish, once you give your gut the necessary probiotics in it, you find that will make such a great impact on your body. And we spoke about earlier inflammation. Right? Inflammation is going to seriously reduce once your gut flora is in order. So I admonish you all who are looking at this program here to really pay particular attention to gut health.
Sheldon, can you break down for us, as the viewers out there, can you break down a little bit about this gut health thing, what it is all about?
Right. So as I was telling you before, I'll give you an example. A lot of people use a lot of conventional medicine. One in particular is antibiotics, right? So while the antibiotics eradicating the bad bacteria or whatever is causing the virus, it is also killing the good bacteria. All right? It is also killing the good microbes in your body. So that is why people tend to have a lot of side effects. They find the skin is dry. They find that, their hair falling out, and the list goes on. But if you really nurture your gut and really understand that, you know something, our body comprised of millions and trillions of microbes. That is the way you have to envision your body. Your body comprised of trillions of bacteria, all right? And once you have that understanding and you know that here's what, in order for your body to strive and be healthy, you need to have a lot of good, healthy, good bacteria.
Yeah. So Sheldon, you're talking about the gut, you're talking about the intestine and the
Yeah,
kidney and all that.
so when we talk about the gut, as you said, Mr. Paxton, you're talking about your the small and large intestine, right? You're talking about your stomach, right? All where the food is there, your stomach, your liver, right? Both small and large intestine, those comprises of your gut. And as you talk about your gut, there are a lot of people who suffer from ulcerated stomach, right? And what I advise a lot of people, ulcerated stomach starts when your gut or your stomach is too alkaline, all right? And when it becomes too alkaline, there's a valve which separates your gut or your stomach from your esophagus. And when that valve gets weak, the acid travels to the esophagus and you get that burning in your throat. Right? Now we might go to the drugstore and get an antacid, right?
Yeah, just take that down.
And take that down,
Right,
right? But you're just dealing with the symptoms. So in order to eradicate that, you need to put more acid in. But you're saying, but put more acid, but that is the problem, right? But the whole idea, if you really understand, in order to have proper digestion, you need the acid to break down the foods because the stomach produces hydrochloric acid. And if you don't have that acid, a pH between 3 to 4, you will have problems with digestion. So to eradicate that, you need to put more acid in your stomach, right? One way you could use is apple cider vinegar. Now, some people may have, if the ulcer is so extreme, right, apple cider vinegar may not be the option. But there are other options, and this is where I go back to fermented foods, right? So that will supply your gut, or your stomach in this case, with the necessary healthy microbes to help to heal that ulcerated stomach.
You know, Sheldon, people, the folks out there might be. By the way, let me just connect with those who are on the program: Sandra Lewis, Amelia Taylor, Carol McComey, and others on the back end. And those the names that we are not seeing. We thank you for joining the program this evening. This evening we are talking about holistic health care, which is very important. Let me bring that up on the screen. Holistic health care, which is very important to each and every one of us. And in studio with me today is Sheldon Brathwaite. He's all the way from Trinidad. He's right in the studio with me today. We're talking about holistic healthcare. Sheldon, you're talking about fermented food. Can you just, how this is done? How this is done?
Okay, good question. So fermented foods, long ago, ancient time, people didn't have any fridge, and the method of how to preserve foods was through fermentation, right? So when you ferment foods, right, the right way, there's a right way and a wrong way.
Because some people might be taking fermented food that stink and rotten and so on.
Yeah.
So we want to know about. We want to know about the right way. You know, people talking about fermented food might be stink. What
Yes, there's a right way and a wrong way of doing it. So if you're making sauerkraut, for example, which is fermented cabbage, right? What you want to do, just briefly, I'm going to explain to you. You want to get your cabbage, you want to slice it in thin slices, and then you could either use your hand to massage it, and you want to put a little salt in it, right? Those are the main fundamentals of making sauerkraut. So you cut your cabbage in very thin slices, very, very thin. Then you want to use salt, because salt now will help to soften it up, all right? And when we talk about salt, we want to use the right type of salt,
Right.
because don't just go and buy salt in the grocery there, because a lot of those salt is not the true salt because it have a lot of anti-caking agent which is causing people sick. When I talk about salt, you use the Himalaya salt,
Right.
the pink salt, or you use the Celtic sea salt. Right? Those are the two I would recommend, highly recommend if you're using salt. Right? And as we talk about salt, we tend to look at salt as the enemy, eh? Because that causing hypertension, that causing a lot of diseases, and people get so fearful of using salt. But on the contrary, if you use the right salt, your
That
body,
takes care of the matter.
yes, because the salt has a lot of trace minerals, what your body really, really needs, right? So getting back on how we make the sauerkraut, right? So when you get the sea salt, you want to massage it. You could use your hand, you can use a pounder, and you want to really massage that in. And when you get it soft and nice, it starts to spring water, right? When it springs water, now you want to put it in a glass jar, all right? And you want to make sure that your household temperature is between 74 to 82, right? Thereabout. So you don't want it too hot because if it's too hot, it could cause the fermentation to go wrong, right? So temperature is very critical, all right? So what has happened when you use that now, you put it in a jar and you tighten it, right? Now, it produces gas, right? So every day you need to release that carbon dioxide buildup.
Okay.
All right, is important because one, the gas that gas gets so explosive, real gas. So you want to burp it out every day to allow that gas to come out. All right, because so that is very very critical in the whole process. Usually, when you're making sauerkraut, it usually the whole thing it's between, I would say, 7 to 14 days, right? And you're constantly burping it every day. And for new people who new are now starting, there are different instruments you can use. You can use it by tasting it, all right? But when you're tasting it, you want to take it out in I prefer a wooden spoon. All right, you take it out from the wooden spoon and you put it in a plate. You don't want to cross-contaminate it by putting your hands directly in it because that will introduce bad bacteria. Right, and you give it a taste. If you find the taste is a bit crunchy and to your liking, you can, once it reaches the 7-day mark, 7 to 14 days. And if you really want to know exactly, you could get a pH test, those pH strips. And with the pH strips now, once you see the reading is like between 4 to 5, I would say, yeah, about 4 to 5, you know that your sauerkraut is ready. So basically, in a nutshell, that's how you make the whole process of sauerkraut. That's just an example of a fermented food. And that fermented food that we're talking about there, that sauerkraut, it has one of the benefits of sauerkraut is that it's rich in vitamin C, right? And everybody knows about vitamin C as a powerful antioxidant which neutralizes free radicals, right? It also has a lot of the necessary acids in it which helps to kill pathogens, all right? Because
what is pathogen? Somebody might be wondering about that.
Right. So pathogens is like bad bacteria.
Okay.
And you don't want your body, you don't want bad bacteria. You want to ensure that you have good, healthy bacteria in your body, right? So that eradicates pathogens. It also helps to produce vitamin K, and vitamin K is so necessary because it redirects the calcium from your arteries to your bones, which is very, very critical, which prevents a lot of plaque in your arteries. If you're a runner, in terms of building your stamina and your endurance, vitamin K2 is very necessary, and again, that is rich in sauerkraut. So this is just a few examples of the benefits of fermented foods, right? And it aids in proper digestion, right? And proper elimination. So now you're going to find that you're going to be able to absorb the nutrients from your food better and your minerals as well.
So you're saying that using fermented foods help Neutralize, that's the right word?
Yeah, it neutralizes free radicals and it aids in proper digestion, right?
And good for the clean out of the gut, the gut
Yeah, so you
yeah.
find that, you'll have proper elimination, right? You find, and it will gonna neutralize inflammation because we started the program and talk about pain in your shoulder and stuff, and you find that once you start getting enough healthy microbes in your body, it's going to neutralize the inflammation because each strain of bacteria, good bacteria, is associated with different organs, right? For example, you have people who get in headaches, right? There are specific strains of bacteria which stimulates the vagus nerves, which goes directly to the brains and the head, So there is a association between the gut and the brain, right? A lot of us we could say that the stomach or your gut is the second brain, right? So it's so important that we be able to flourish or provide enough nutrient dense healthy bacteria for your gut.
Okay, Sheldon, before we go further, I want to welcome those on YouTube who are viewing the program and Facebook. We are streaming on both platforms live. We have in studio with us here as our guest, Sheldon Brathwaite, all the way from Trinidad. I'm really happy he's right in studio with me this evening. And we're talking about fermented food. We're talking about holistic health. Sheldon, tell us something. Why so many people are coming down with so many diseases?
Good question. So, one of the key things that will cause people to have so many different diseases is this thing called cortisol stress. Cortisol, right? That is the stress hormone. A lot of people are stressed out. A lot of people. So stress impacts the body and is a main contributor, right, to a lot of diseases, right? A high carb meal is another example of people getting a lot of diseases. Because viruses, especially cancer, love sugar, right? And when you have a high carb meal, it's just providing necessary food, right, for those viruses like cancer, right? Not getting enough sleep is another example why people are coming down with a lot of diseases, right? So it's important to get the regular 8 hours. Now, we talk about everybody you're supposed to get 8 hours, but then getting 8 hours of proper deep sleep, right? Because getting deep sleep helps what you call the circadian rhythm of your body, which is vital. It allows you to go into a deeper state. So you find now that your body regenerates when you sleep, And when we use the word loosely, regenerate, your body is made to heal itself. God did a phenomenal job when He made us.
Amazing.
Yeah, we have the ability to heal ourselves, right? And once we nourish our body with the necessary nutrients, right, you find that automatically God will do the rest.
That's right.
All right, and our body will heal itself. So those are some of the things that are causing a lot of diseases out there. That cortisol stress. Oh my goodness, right? All those hydrogenated oils that are selling there. At one point in time, they said coconut oil was bad for us, right? But coconut oil is not the enemy. The enemy there is the soybean oil, the canola oils. All those are man-made oils, right? So because coconut oil is something is a very good MCT oil because it's rich in what you call ketones. And ketones is another alternative fuel for the brain, right? So for those who suffering or predisposed to diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and all these neurological diseases, right, using coconut oil is another good option because of the ketones it has in it, right? And it's good for skin conditions because it neutralizes fungus, in our body. So that is our example too of healthy microbes.
So you're saying cooking with I've heard that many years ago, and the older folks used to be cooking with coconut oil.
Yeah.
Now we have the refined oil, and
Yeah.
And now you're saying that it's not good to use them, which
Yeah,
I believe personally.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the coconut oil and using it.
Right. So there are many options. I always suggest to persons that you can cook with. That is the preferred oil to cook with because it has a higher boiling point, right? So even though it boils, the nutrients from the oil, you wouldn't lose the nutrients from the oil, right? You also could consume it by taking it a tablespoon, right? They are the cold compressed oils you can use. You could put it in your smoothie. Yeah, there are many different ways you can use it. Put it in your
Throw a
smoothie.
little bit on the
Yeah,
smoothie.
you
One
could.
on your vegetables and so
Yeah,
on.
you could
Okay,
drizzle it,
okay,
right?
okay,
Olive oil
okay.
is another good oil too,
Right.
because that is rich in omega-3.
Okay.
And we need a lot of omega-3 in our diet because, as you say, one of the getting back again to the diseases, that what is causing all these different diseases, because the ratio between omega-6 oils and omega-3, there's a high imbalance because most of the diets is rich in omega-6. So we're not getting enough omega-3 fatty acids in our body,
Okay.
right? So it's so important to ensure that we get necessary omega-3. Now, one might ask, where do you get omega-3? Fish, you get it from fish, fatty fish, like salmons, sardines. These are very fish that are rich and high in omega-3, right? And the brain loves it, right? So, and the brain is a main organ, because that is what coordinates everything, you know?
Right. Sheldon, there are two important things that you touched earlier on that I want to talk about actually. One was out of the broadcast, we were on the back end talking, and the other one you just spoke about it. Constipation.
Right.
How one get constipated and what happened when you are constipated? We are talking about holistic health and linking the whole body by connecting with each other, different organs. Talk a little bit about constipation and how it links to what we are talking about now.
Right. So, again, and I'll always reiterate, gut health is very, very critical. So you need to nourish your gut with the necessary healthy gut microbes, healthy bacteria, and it neutralizes and eradicates all forms of gut-related issue. Constipation is a gut-related issue, right? Leaky gut syndrome. So once you flourish your gut with the necessary healthy microbes, right, you're going to eradicate constipation. You having food rich in high fiber, right, is a way to help the body with eradicating constipation. Drinking enough water is another way you can help to neutralize. But the main key is to nourish the gut with healthy microbes, right? Once you nourish your gut with the necessary healthy bacteria, all those gut-related issues is going to neutralize.
Right. So white flour helps with constipation.
Well,
That just came to mind.
yeah. So flour is rich in carbs, right? Is a complex sugar, carbohydrates, and because of the gluten in the flour, that in itself, right, is a contributing factor to constipation. Okay, so if it is, you have to use it. There is a bread you call sourdough bread. It's an option if you really like your bread, like myself, right? So I try my best now to consume more sourdough bread, right? So that is an option for all those who love their bread. You can have your bread, right? But you could use the sourdough bread, right? If for some reason that you still struggling to stop eating bread, which is the key, you can mix it with some flax seed, some pumpkin seed to give the body a little more fiber. All right. So that is these little options you could use if you're using the flour. But flour itself, as I said, because of the gluten, is not too good for us. So we need to really eat it minimal.
You talk about leaky gut when I asked you about constipation. Can you break that down for us? Because some people might be wondering what is leaky gut, what it is all about, leaky gut.
Right. So as the name says, leaky gut syndrome is that because you remember everything starts in the gut, right? So all your nutrients are being leaked out, right?
Where?
From the gut. Because remember,
Okay.
your gut comprise of your stomach, your small and large intestines, right? All those comprise of that there. Leaky gut causes constipation because the lining of the gut is weakened. And when the lining of your gut is weakened, your body is exposed to more bad bacteria. All right? Because the lining is weakened. So once that lining is weakened, the bad bacteria invades it. And there is where now all these constipation happens, celiac disease happens, Crohn disease happens, all these different gut related diseases happens in your gut. All right? Because you have a specific lining there in your gut. And it needs to be strengthened. And how you strengthen it? By a good, healthy microbiome or good, healthy bacteria.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Let me just connect with those who are online. Shirley and Clark. I'm seeing Simone Denoon. How are you doing, Simone? Dwayne Murray. Hey, Simon, how are you doing out of St. Lucia, my brother? Cheryl Williams and the others on the back end. We're not seeing the names. We thank you for joining the program. Who are viewing on YouTube and Facebook Live. We are dealing with this evening with our health. We are talking about natural way in healing the body. But one thing Sheldon is promoting: see your doctor.
Yes.
But he see a doctor.
Yes.
Get diagnosed. But he has a very, very authentic and professional way in dealing with you when you are ill. Sheldon, before we go further, I want you to tell the folks how they can contact you before we go a little further into the program, because we have about 20 more minutes. Tell the folks how they can contact you.
Okay, I can be contacted. My number is 779-2847. Right, for those abroad, the number is 1-868-779-2847. I offer a mobile service, right? And that service is something where I come home to you. Because, there are people who really in need to be edified about nutrition, right? And I want to reiterate, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not going to prescribe or anything or diagnose or anything. Any issues, please consult your doctor. I'm just sharing my personal experience and a way you can, another alternative option that you can use or integrate into your lifestyle, right? So, as again, my number is 1-868-779-2847, and I operate a mobile service. The name of my company is Gifted Hands Holistic Wellness Center.
Okay, good, great. Sheldon, personally, sometimes I sleep late. We're talking about sleep now. You touched early on.
Yeah.
And then even though I go to sleep late, I would sleep well, but I tend to get up back and read in the morning times, do something, 4 o'clock, and by 7 I'm off, getting out there for the day, doing my thing. Let's talk about sleep a little bit. How important sleep is to this human body and losing sleep nightly.
Right. So remember I talk about the pillars of wellness, and sleep is one of the pillars of wellness. So basically, our body regenerates when we sleep. All right. So not getting adequate sleep could have an impact on our health. Right? So, and we talk about circadian rhythm, because sometimes when you not getting enough rest, you feel off. You feel, like you're off. Because
this
of
morning I felt a little beat-up.
Yeah, because your circadian rhythm off. You say your body needs to be. You need to be calibrated. Now, the thing about it, and I always advise my clients, everybody lifestyle is different. There are people who have to work, right? People essential services, like whether you be a nurse, whether like Pastor Baxter here, you have to help people, so you have no choice to go to your bed at a time where you could get that adequate rest. And then sometimes your body is so programmed to get up a certain time, right? So the thing about it is getting, again, we're going back to the gut, getting deep sleep. So The whole idea is to get 8 hours, right? 8 hours is ideal to get. What if for whatever reason, because of your lifestyle, you cannot get it, right? The important is to get a
What
good
do you do?
deep sleep. What do you do? There is where now you're getting right necessary foods for that. And an example is probiotic rich foods, right? Stimulating melatonin. Because you notice when the place is dark, your body automatically gets relaxed, right? When the place is dark, because that stimulates melatonin. So you want people who struggling with it, you know, what examples is that you don't eat late in the night, right? Try to eat something light, because when you eat too heavy at night, your body's trying to, your stomach is on call out, right? Because your stomach usually on duty in the morning. But when you eat late in the night now, it means to say you give your stomach a call out.
You sleeping and stomach working.
Yeah. So you find out you won't get a good
Yeah,
deep
yeah.
sleep, And then what it is you're feeding your mind, that spiritual food is so important, right? So you want to make sure that, your mindset is clear of it, and making sure that what you feed in your subconscious mind, whether through music, you want to make sure that is mild music, and also in terms of, besides the music you're listening to, besides eating less less in the evening, you also want to ensure that prayers is critical. You pray, all right. We talk about having the place dark, and most important, the gut, right? Getting good, healthy, probiotic rich foods to stimulate healthy bacteria, because as I tell you, everything starts with here. So there are strains of bacteria to help you go to sleep, right? And if it is you're not getting enough good bacteria in it, you find yourself having a challenge to sleep, right? Because your body is so hype, and you can't go to sleep. But there are certain, I'll give you an example. There is a particular bacteria strain called L. reuteri. And that L. reuteri stimulates what we call oxytocin in the body. We call it the love hormone, right? And it stimulates empathy. And this world needs a lot of people with empathy and oxytocin. That's the love hormone. We need to be love happy,
So we need to have a lot of that.
Yes. And when you have that now, one of the benefits of that love hormone and empathy, you also stimulate that melatonin, and it helps you to relax, and get that real deep sleep that you're longing for. For those, that is an option you can use. You could get L. reuteri yogurt, right? That is an option that would help you. And that is part of what I also offer, traditional foods, that which is very, very vital.
Okay, those who have just came on the program, Betty and Joseph Lewis, Mark Beckers, Orville, Clive Williams, Shelley and Clark. We thank you for joining. We are in the closing moments of this broadcast. This evening, we are talking about holistic health. Let me bring that up on the screen. We are talking about holistic health this evening, and we have in studio with us today Sheldon Bradwaite, all the way from Trinidad. And Sheldon, we want to talk about one more thing before we get off this program. You did touch about it, but I'm just impressed to talk about it again, because there are folks who are jumping on right now. I'm seeing the numbers are climbing. The algorithm doesn't always be right that you're seeing here, right? But there are folks who are jumping on. You understand?
Yes.
And you talk about the bacteria, you talk about the yogurt, we should use healthy ones, and so on. This thing called stress, STESS, right? Stress. It's your stress level. So I met a young lady today. She's a foreigner, and she you can see on her face she was stressed out. I said, "You okay?" But she was telling me, "No, she's not." But one of the guys here is telling me now, "No, she's not okay." But people just making a facade, a face. Let's talk about stress a little bit. This will be the final part of our discussion this evening, and how much it affects the body.
Right. So stress is a very complex word, and we use it loosely, but the damage it impacts on us.
Right.
And some people not even aware they're stressed out. That's the funny thing, because it have what they call unacknowledged stress, right? And a lot of people walking there have unacknowledged stress because They don't talk about it. When you speak about something, you release that emotional trauma out your body. But if you keep it inside, pent up, right, which is that unacknowledged stress, what it does now, it invades more bad bacteria
Right.
and it affects your gut. Again, I'm going back to the gut, right? Because once your body gets more bad bacteria now, inflammation kicks in, right? Your whole circadian rhythm out of whack, right? You can't sleep properly because you're stressed, So, again, sleep, sorry, I'm saying sleep. Stress stimulates cortisol, right? And that is a stress hormone. So you have to find ways and means to neutralize that cortisol stress in your body. All right, whatever it is you're going through, either seek a pastor, take a vacation, just leave that alone because it's going to poison your system, and you don't want that. You know, you don't want, especially when you're not eating right. To add to that is going to just cause more harm.
Trouble.
Yeah, and more
Yeah,
trauma to the
yeah,
body.
yeah.
So for those who have unacknowledged stress, there are some people who are stressed out, but they talk about it. Yeah.
And can you talk about it? When you talk about stress, what's your advice? Should you talk to anybody about your stress level, about your stress? Because I think there's some people you should not talk to at all. When
Right.
You're stressed out because you're already wounded, and they might still shoot you down. Or the advice to you is not profitable.
Right.
So talk to somebody who would really listen to you and give you a good advice.
So remember I talk about this probiotic called L-Reuteri, right? That stimulates oxytocin, which is the love hormone. So we need to eat a little more of that yogurt, and that will help to neutralize. It may not completely go away, but that will help because that's stimulating oxytocin, which is the love hormone, and you'll have a form of empathy. And it will be more relaxed in your body. So again, it everything associate with the gut, right? So I encourage those of you out there who may be going through something stressful, right? There is help. Probiotic rich food is an option if you don't want to share it with anybody, right? I give you an example what you can do, what you can take to help that. That will help neutralize the stress, right? And do things you like, do things that you like.
Right. Well, folks, we thank you so much for coming on the program this evening. We are in the closing moments of this broadcast, and we have in the studio again with us Sheldon Brathwaite, and he spoke about holistic health care, and there's a lots of information that you can find in this broadcast this evening. So if you just jumped on, please go back and listen to this program. It will benefit you a lot. Let me say that again. It will benefit you a lot.
Definitely.
Go back and listen to this broadcast and share it with somebody. Do not keep all this relevant. Listen to what I'm coining. Do not keep all this relevant information to yourself. Share it with somebody. And you can reach Sheldon at 779-2847. Am I correct?
That is correct.
779-2847. Let me slow that down. Let me go slow motion. 779-2847. Or if you want to contact me to get to Sheldon, you can reach me at 380-2500. 380-2500. We are in contact all the time. You would be helped. You might be experiencing an issue where you are not being helped by medication, whatever. We don't know. But I encourage you to try what Sheldon is offering here this evening. Sheldon, do you have a closing remark that you want to share with the people out there?
There is hope, right? And this program didn't happen by chance. We had stumbling blocks, right? Before, a lot of stumbling blocks, but there is hope for everyone there.
That's right.
Right? And this program here is something here to help you. This is the start here. So make full use of it, right? And we are here to support, right? We are here to support you. So feel free to give us a call.
That's right.
All right.
That's
So you all have a blessed evening. And for those who are listening, I hope it was something productive for you guys and it helped to enrich your mind body, and spirit.
Well, Sheldon, we want to thank you so much for coming on the program with us this evening. I know
It's
you're
a
busy
pleasure.
man. You're looking to go back to Trinidad tomorrow. You're a busy man, and I know we'll be doing more programs. You might not be
Definitely,
in studio
definitely.
with me, but I can link you from wherever you are.
Oh, yes.
beam you inside right into the studio. We thank you so much for coming onto the program, and folks out there in in the virtual space, wherever you are listening from around the world, we thank you for joining the program this evening, and out of your personal time for joining. It's for your benefit. God is good. The
All
Bible
the time.
says in all thing that we do, we must glorify God. In our eating, our drinking, we must glorify God. So do have yourself a fantastic evening. Be safe and take care of yourself. Holistic health, dealing with the whole body. Dealing with the whole body. We got to get the root out so we can eliminate all these sicknesses and diseases. God says in His Word that He wished that we prosper and be in good health. We love you. And God loves you best. Have a
Yes.
fantastic evening. And please do not forget to share, like, and subscribe to this ministry.